We but mirror the world.
All the tendencies present in the outer world
are to be found within us.
If we change ourselves,
the tendencies in the world
will also change.
This paraphrased quote from Mahatma Gandhi is the basis of the program you are about to hear. I'm Daedalian, and this is Shining Stars, a program dedicated to searching out and bringing attention to individuals and organizations that are fostering positive change within our community and within our world.
Thanks, as always, for joining me here on Shining Stars. Now, if you're a resident of the Lansing area, you probably heard of the Cristo Rey Community Center. For over 50 years, it has been a part of our community, providing basic needs services to the poor and vulnerable, emphasizing physical and behavioral health care, counseling, and basic needs such as food, clothing, and personal hygiene access. With me in the studio today is Joe Garcia. 30 years before becoming the Chief Executive Officer of Cristo Rey, Joe volunteered for the organization as a career counselor. Between these two roles, he has had a fulfilling career spanning several professional sectors, including nonprofit, Fortune 100 management, public administration, and entrepreneurship. Joe ensures high-quality safety net services are available to the poor and vulnerable here in our community. At the same time, he is educating local government and business leaders on effective methods of involvement and collaboration. Now, Joe's got himself 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Science degree in Communications and Spanish from Western Michigan University, and then he followed that up with an MBA from Northwood University. That is quite the resume, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
And it is awesome to have you a part of our community as well. Got to say thanks for coming in to the show to talk about the Cristo Rey Community Center. Tell me a little bit about the organization, its mission, what it does here. I mean, I of course brushed on it a little bit here, but you're going to explain it a lot better detail than I can. So,
well, great, and happy to. Cristo Rey Community Center is a safety net organization. Mm-hmm. We're here to meet the needs of the poor and vulnerable. We've been doing that for a little over 55 years. Okay. So what does that mean? We're providing medical care. We work with folks who are in recovery through that recovery journey, so substance use disorder counseling, mm-hmm. and the wraparound services around that. We have a partnership with the city of Lansing called Financial Empowerment, mm-hmm. and that is where we're helping individuals get on the right sides of their budgets, be strategic with their dollars, and also to help them utilize other community resources. And then last but certainly not least, we operate in the space of direct assistance. So that's food, pantry food items, but also hot breakfast, hot lunches, as well as personal need items and a clothing closet. And so we do that all under one roof.
Okay. All right. This is connected to the church, right?
Yes, we are part of the Diocese of Lansing.
Okay.
We, however, are a self-sufficient organization. We're our own 501c3, our own EIN number, and we work to be a self-sufficient organization, which we are.
Okay. How do people end up coming across you? Like, for instance, the thing I know about Cristo Rey is the event that happens every year. But how do you try to get the word out about what you do to the people that need to know?
Well, certainly, and it's funny that you mentioned the event that happens every year at Cristo Rey Catholic Church, okay. which has nothing to do with the Cristo Rey Community Center.
And that's what I wanted to know.
Well, there you go. And the church is on the south end of town, and we are mm-hmm. on the north end.
There we go.
But how do people learn about Cristo Rey? I would say through word of mouth.
Okay.
Because again, who we are helping are people with lower means, and they might not have, let's say, the access to the social communication that exists out there to your Facebook or your digital advertising or whatnot to see that. So a lot of it is word of mouth. So people getting help, sharing their good experiences with others, as well as we work with other nonprofits in the community so that they are aware of what we do, so they can refer people over to us that we can help, and vice versa. You know, I'm going to jump right into an overused analogy that I use. In the nonprofit space, we are David's fighting Goliath-sized problems.
Okay. In
the nonprofit community, we cannot afford to work and think as individual organizations. We have to come together.
Okay.
And that's really important for us nonprofits to have the effectiveness in the community that needs to happen.
Very cool. I'm glad we actually covered that, because I actually believe that I am not the only one. Because when I started diving into the website, I was like, okay, this is not the same thing that I thought it was. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we clarified that. Tell me a little bit about, when I hear CEO, automatically I think of Fortune 500 company or something like that. Mm-hmm. What is the day in the life of a CEO for this type of an organization?
Well, it's unique. In the nonprofit environment, we wear a lot of hats, and mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, if the hat doesn't fit, we put string around it so it'll stay on your head. So what do I do in a day? It can be a lot of different things. I can be involved in meetings with our state and local government representatives, helping to have an effect on policy and change that it will benefit our community. Heck, I might be out there troubleshooting an IT issue that I shouldn't be involved with. And everything about anything and everything in between there. You know, maybe I've helped address some plumbing issues in the past, you know, those kind of things. So nothing is off limits. And, you know, which is the beauty of working in a nonprofit. You do what's needed, and you do it with a smile on your face.
And it sounds like you've been with the organization for quite a while now.
Almost 10 years.
10 years? Okay. So what was it that originally, because it said 30 years ago in your biography that, mm-hmm. that you originally were a career counselor, so you left and came back.
I did.
Okay.
So I'll share a story.
Please.
Okay. So back in the early 90s, when I was in school, my uncle, who happened to work at Cristo Rey Community Center as the employment and training director, he asked/told me to come and volunteer. Mm-hmm. And in my family, when your relatives tell you to do something, you do it with, you do it with a smile on your face. So I happily did it. I happily came in and volunteered. And I will tell you what, my role in that department, I helped people write resumes, and we practice interview skills. I really loved it. And I'll tell you what I loved the most. I loved the sidebar conversations about opportunities. It's like what this new job would bring from an opportunity standpoint. Just, loved it. It made me feel good, and it was motivating to make sure that the resumes looked good, as well as they're practicing their, how to respond to an interview question was effective. Mm-hmm. But my uncle Sam is his name. He had a specific reason for me to do the type of volunteerism that I was doing, but I didn't know that at the time. And for that to make sense, I'm moving you along a timeline. So we were at the early 90s. Now I'm going to take you to the late 50s, 1958, 59, and share a little bit about my dad, about my family. Okay. So at that time, mom and dad and brothers and sisters, I wasn't born yet. They lived on the parish grounds of St. Cornelius, and that's a small little church in Leslie. Leslie's just south of here. It's a farming community. Dad drove bus, and he was a groundskeeper. People liked him. He worked hard. Around that time, opportunities presented themselves for the railroad, Grand Trunk Railroad, and Dad went to inquire. They handed him a job application to fill out. Now, my mom and dad could barely read and write in Spanish, let alone in English. So that was going to be something that Dad was going to need to get some help to accomplish that task, something that he would never have relished. But understanding the importance of it, he sought help. And he happened to go to the priest on where he worked. And that parish priest gladly helped him fill out the job application. He also gave him a few pointers to say when he dropped off his application. Mm-hmm. Now, to shorten the story, Dad got the job, and it changed our lives. It absolutely changed the trajectory of our future. Very soon after, we were in our own home. We all the siblings had an opportunity for a wonderful education. And, like myself, here I am. I'm the son of parents who didn't passed more than the equivalence of third grade, and I have an MBA. So it created a lot of opportunity for us. That Uncle Sam of mine, the reason that, again, back to why I volunteered and for what, in what capacity, is Sam wanted me to experience the other end of what was given to Dad so many years earlier. Mm-hmm. And now my father and some uncles eventually then turned around and helped Sam get more education in Mexico to ultimately, when he came here, to be able to hold a professional job. But back to it, there's that experience that Sam created. Why I share that story in this context is that it's also a really good example of Cristo Rey. We're here to help people wherever they're at. Mm-hmm. And it might be helping them for the day with some clothing items. It might be for a week, a month in needing help with food and food access. Or could help change someone's life forever, like it did in our family.
Very cool.
And that's who we are. That's what we're all about.
I feel like Uncle Sam's a little sneaky.
Yeah, he was.
He was a little sneaky?
Yeah, he was.
So it seems like he kind of gave you some sort of trajectory as to what you're doing now originally. Is that what you always anticipated doing when you were younger?
Sort of. Mm-hmm. Sort of. And I'll answer that direct question, then I want to go back to one. But I'll tell you what, first generation American, son of migrant parents, the opportunities that were presented to me, I was really grateful for them. And I had made a personal commitment to myself that after I got my degree, my bachelor's degrees, I was going to work for a nonprofit. And I was going to do that for 5 years. So I gave myself a 5-year commitment. So after I graduated, I specifically sought out nonprofit jobs. And I ended up working for an organization that ran Head Start programs. And this one happened to work specifically with migrant Head Start programs. Great work, loved it. Was involved in a lot of different aspects of Head Start, a wonderful, necessary program. Organization was called Telemon, who ran it, and I was there for 5 years and a day. And after that, I went right into I got a job with Lucent Technologies, more in line with the degrees that I went to school for. Okay. I do want to go back to the other. Now what were we talking about? Oh, with Sam and being sneaky and yes. And all those things. He didn't share that intention that he had at that time back in the 90s.
I gathered.
He didn't share that for years after, till actually a story that he shared with me when he was just before he passed. Mm. He had lupus, and that was really getting the best of him. And visiting in the hospital, that's when he shared that story with me.
Very good. Mm-hmm. He definitely was a little bit sneaky, wasn't he?
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
So you said you tend to even do some plumbing around Cristo Rey as well, along with meeting people, talking with people, and I would imagine there's got to be a lot of reward to what you do from time to time.
Oh my gosh.
What is the most rewarding part of this?
Well, the most rewarding part of it is that you're helping people. Mm-hmm. In a corporate environment, it's all about shareholder value and how much you're affecting, the profits or that bottom line. What we're doing in the nonprofit sector is we are helping people and families, and it couldn't be anything more rewarding than that. When you know that you had a small part in helping someone over a difficult period of time, it's incredibly rewarding.
Mm. Yeah, I can see where that would be. Do you find when you're trying to measure success and say, hey, I'm making a difference, is it the numbers that count, or is it those stories?
It's the stories that count. It's all about people. These are people, and it's contradictory to what they're probably teaching us in business school at the master's level there. You can't fit everything in an ROI, return on investment statement. We're not a manufacturer producing cogs.
Right.
We are helping people where they're at with whatever needs, and everyone is different. Everyone is unique, and everyone deserves the opportunity to work with someone that is willing to help. Because the thing is sometimes that interaction can only take a couple minutes, Other times it could take, much longer and multiple visits. So it's a hard measurable behind numbers. But even though we do collect numbers, and we have pretty impressive numbers.
It's part of just being a part of the world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So how do you measure success in that capacity?
From the data gathered capacity, we measure success in that understanding that our little medical practice, we're helping 2,400 individual people who are patients of our practice, doing about 11,000 patient visits a year. And we don't put any type of cap on the Medicaid and Medicare population, which most practices are forced to do that. That reimbursement level at the Medicaid, Medicare level, just to simplify things and to simplify this conversation, equate to about half of what traditional commercial insurance would cover on a benefit.
Understood. You have a very positive demeanor about you.
Thank you.
I enjoy talking with you. I struggle with positivity a lot of the times, keeping myself positive. Do you find that's a natural trait for you? Do you feel like it's a learned thing?
Well, I think I know that I have much to be grateful for, and that helps. That helps to be positive. I love the work that we're doing. I see the benefit of our work, so it helps to stay positive there as well. And honestly, and I'll include this with a lot of my nonprofit partners here, we're so busy that, let's hold on to, a philosophy that I have. Well, I remember the positive and I forget the negative. So if you're always in the positive space, you'll be there.
Awesome.
But we all struggle.
Awesome. I'm assuming that you can't ever run short of volunteers or people on the outside being a part of what you do. So how would somebody get involved?
Well, we have our point of contact, Simone Ponce, who could help connect you into volunteer opportunities. But absolutely, nonprofits, ours no exception here. We rely heavily on volunteers. Some of the components or some of the programs at the center, our clothing closet, for instance, that is totally operated by volunteers. Our personal needs pantry, totally operated by volunteers. I only have a couple paid kitchen staff, but the rest of the folks involved there are volunteers, and they're sprinkled throughout the center. We rely on them greatly and appreciate their commitment. I will say, and I've heard this firsthand as well, is that these volunteers get a lot out of what they're doing. There's just as much joy in giving as there is in receiving. And you know what? It reminds folks that, that we're all human. We're all folks just trying to make it happen for ourselves, and that sometimes we fall into challenging situations. They're also reminded that no one chooses to be poor. No one chooses to not have the resources that they need. There's no parent out there that says, I want my child not to have these basic needs. There are unfortunate things that happen. There are people trying to right the ship. And people who end up volunteers start recognizing exactly that.
Yeah, I would even go ahead and extend on that and find that very often the giving actually even is more rewarding for sure than the receiving.
Absolutely.
CristoReyCommunity.org is the website if you want to check it out. We'll have that up on the podcast portion of this episode as well. And Joe, I want to say, I do have one more question for you before we go, but I do want to say thank you very much for everything you do as well as Cristo Rey here in the community.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and finish with the question that I ask of all of my Shining Star guests, and that is, if you had the ability to snap your fingers and put one thought into the collective consciousness of the entire human race at the same time, what would that thought be?
We're all called to do action. We all have a part to play in making this world a better place, so let's do it. Stop talking. Let's do it.
My only thing is how do I recognize when that happens? You tell me.
Well, I think that when we can openly call each other brothers and sisters.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Joe, do me a favor, snap those fingers and make it happen.
There you go.
Remember,
we can all contribute something good to this world.
No matter how big
or how small.
A simple smile
or a friendly gesture
is all it takes
to expand positivity
1 inch further.
Thanks so much for listening to Shining Stars and, of course, sharing your time with me today. I'm Daedalian, and you can listen to this episode of Shining Stars on demand, along with other LCC Connect programs at lccconnect.org.